welcome back to The People Business. Today's guest is Tim Brink. Tim Brink is Chief Executive Officer of the Mechanical Contractors Association of America. Tim has served in pretty much all aspects of the MCAA from the contractor side, and he's done it all. He's seen it all, and no one is more connected in the contractor business than Tim Brink. Tim, thank you so much for coming on.
Hi, Frank. Thanks for having me. It's good to be here with you.
Yeah, it's good to be here with you. So Tim, I've known of Tim while I was working for the contractor in the MCAA, and Tim and I connected on social media through LinkedIn, and I had reached out to him, and we had a really great conversation. And now that I'm with the MCAA and the NEI, Tim has been helping me and guiding me, giving me some great advice. And Tim, so when we go back for you and we really think about where it started, you grew up in the industry, didn't you?
I did. My grandfather started C.H. Stone Plumbing in L.A. in 1924.
Okay.
So next year, the company would have been 100 years old. And so that's always been in our family. And I grew up, going down to the shop as a teenager, and I worked there during summers in college, and then started there when I graduated college in 1986. And it went from my grandfather to my mother and her sister, because my grandfather only had daughters. Mm-hmm. So we had non-family members running and working in the business since my grandfather died before I was born until I basically took over.
And then when you think about that, so you grew up in it, and so every single day you were kind of, and I changed our camera view here, sorry. So you grew up in it, and so you spent your time there. You probably got to know the people that worked there, right? You were immersed yourself in that entire experience, right?
Absolutely. And great people there, great salt of the earth people, just like there are today in our industry. And it provided a great career so people could support their families. And my grandmother, who kind of watched over the company after my grandfather died, she was all about family, all about taking care of people. And my mother had adopted that. She always had a special place in her heart for everybody that worked for Stone. Mm. And then when I got there, I went through the apprenticeship and graduated and became a journeyman. And that was such an important thing for my mom, because you needed to be part of the culture of the business that you were in. You needed to know the business from the ground up. And that was probably one of the best things I ever did for my career, and understanding the industry that we're in. Is I joined Local 78, which is the downtown local plumbing union in LA. And it was a great start to my career.
Yeah. And you stayed in the career, and you were president of C.H. Stone, and you took over what, in 1992?
Yeah, I took over in 92, actually with my cousin, and we parted ways about a year and a half later, and he went on and developed his own successful plumbing company. And then I stayed there until the end of 2006, or the beginning of 2006. I am a big advocate for succession planning. Our family culture, with the two families that were involved, didn't really lend itself to succession planning. So I decided to, I was the only family member in the company, and it was a better future for me to go and find success elsewhere. So in beginning of 2006, I joined a manufacturer's rep firm in Southern California, and had the Arizona and the union contractor market in Southern California as my territory. And I take my hat off to those people every day, because that is it's a different business. It's a tough business, but it wasn't for me. Mm. It wasn't for me. While I was at Stone, I met John Gentile, my predecessor, in 97 when we formed CPMCA, which was a little unconventional. We had an association there, and 13 of us decided we needed to follow a different path.
Okay.
John stuck behind us then and kept our membership in MCAA. He helped me, he mentored me during my whole career, really. Got me involved in the ALI, or Advanced Leadership Institute, in the first class. Got me on the Project Managers Education Committee in 2000. Then he got me on the national board as a contractor in 2003. And after I decided manufacturer rep firms and that business wasn't right for me, I called John and I said, either I want to run a local association or I want to be a contractor. And it boiled down to, I met 3 people while I was on the board from Philadelphia: Ron Zinzer, Eddie Quinn, and Mark Rogers. And Mark Rogers was president or on the board in the officers of the local chapter in Philadelphia. And John said, hang on, somebody's going to give you a call. And he called me and he says, come on out for an interview. We're interviewing. And on a handshake deal with Mark, he says, come on out. You can trust these people. You can trust me. We'll take care of you. We'll take care of each other. And I was there for 11 and a half years before I came down to MCAA. It was a great place for my 3 boys to grow up and for my wife and I to live. That's some of the best friends I've ever had in Philly. And the contractor group out there was eager to do great things with their local union partners. And it was great to work together with all of them and work together with the union to really do some really good things there.
When you think about that, though, that is all about people, right? It's connections, it's relationships. And this is like, when I came into this industry as somewhat of an outsider, I came in from the financial industry. But the thing that really struck me right away is how relationship driven the industry really is. Right? I've been in 6 industries, and I've never been in one that is so relationship driven. You're right. It's your friendships. It's, this is the People Business Podcast, but there's not an industry that's more in the business of people than the mechanical contracting world, right?
100%. You take out it. People look at our structure. We have apprentices and helpers, and then journeymen and foremen and general foremen, and then project managers all the way up the line. You take out the lowest common denominator there, and everything falls apart. So you've got to treat people well along the way. When I was a contractor, I sat on on a state board that governed all the permits and the codes and everything else. And a gentleman on the board with me was Donald Dickerson, who started ASPE many, many moons ago. He was this tall, old, seemingly really gruff guy. We were doing a job for him when I was an apprentice, actually, at the Jonathan Club downtown. And he came in one day and he said, "You're Brink, you're that owner's kid." I said, "Yeah." He goes, "Come with me." And we went all the way down into the belly of the building, and he knew absolutely everybody in the laundry room, in the engineering facility and everything else. And he says, "You see what's happening here?" And he goes, "You take care of all of these people and you go anywhere in the building." And he taught me a really valuable lesson that day, that everybody is important and everybody has a role to play. And you take out that person and it just doesn't work.
It is so true. So true. Because you need everyone to be working and, and doing their thing. And right. And it's like you take out those people and if they don't feel valued, right, if they don't feel important, production goes down, everything changes, right?
100%. Yeah. And our industry is filled with wonderful people like that who have their own businesses and they're competitors with other people, but they choose to put on their industry hat and mentor others, even if it means that you're helping a competitor to be better.
Right.
In Southern California, there was a number of those people, and a couple people started businesses out of CH Stone that I'm great friends with today that have been immensely successful. I was an apprentice to Benny Monaco and to Bob Felix, and great family friends with a gentleman named John Odom, who ran Murray Company for a while. And he took me under his wing, and I'd call him and say, "Hey, you have this big company. When you get in this situation, what do you do?" And he would tell me, even though we're sometimes compete against each other, but I didn't do the size and the volume of work that he did. And you go back to the person that brought me to Philadelphia, Mark Rogers. He's always helping people. He, along with Greg Fuller from our past president pool, run our Field Leaders Conference. They hook up with Kevin Doherty, Mark Breslin, and Chris Hasslinger from the UA, and they're out there for free, educating thousands and thousands of field leaders on how to be a better person, a better leader, a better advocate for our industry. So our industry is just full of great people. And you look at our executive committee today, and the past presidents, my first president was Brian Helm, then we went to Armand Collegian, and then to Bob Bolden, and now Robert Beck. The volunteers are just unbelievable, and the lineup of people we have coming that are already in the queue with Rick Gopfarth and Brian Hughes and Curtis Harbor. We're in great shape for a long time.
Yeah.
It's really MCAA. We're here to make our members' businesses and their lives better. And you're a big part of that through our NEI. We have this whole initiative of instructors like yourself that can go to companies or to local associations and provide education. So it's really you're right when you say it's a people business, because it's about connecting people.
Yeah. And that's what the MCAA is so good about, is you provide the resources for every single obstacle, every problem that anyone could come across. You're providing the answers to, if those people just take the time to want the answers, right?
That's true. Yeah. And September, this, the month we're talking, is no different. We have a resource that a subject matter that we've never tackled before in our safety resources. September is Mental Health and Suicide Prevention Month. And it's our 20th anniversary of our Safety Excellence Program. And this month's toolkit, we have a brand new video. And we have a young man named Brandon Anderson, who is extremely courageous and brave. And he's the subject matter of our video, and he tells his story. He tells his story with, his mental health challenges. And we have Jen Massey from the UA, their safety professional. And then we have Dr. Sally, who both the UA and the MCAA use. She's a mental health professional. We tell Brandon's story and the struggles and how he overcame it and how he's thriving now, and how it's okay not to be okay. It's okay for a very male-dominated construction industry to say, I need help. And we have a number of toolbox safety talks that came out this month, and some coins that have the new 988 National Mental Health Hotline number on them. We're attacking the sector of our industry and a sector of our members' health that we've never done before. And Rafi Elkamas heads up the health, safety and health and risk management for MCAA, and has really done a good job with that.
It takes strength to say, I need help. It takes courage to say, I need help. That's it. I mean, these are things I think we need, in such a male-driven industry, right? To be okay with, because it's the only way to get better.
Right. Well, we give them help for, safety on the job site. If they get hurt, we give them help. We provide health insurance for them. We provide a pension. We provide everything else, but we never really address the trauma that stress can have on a person's psyche.
It's a very stressful industry, but and it's great that you're providing those resources, and bringing more awareness, right?
Yeah. Well, that's what we try to do with our whole safety excellence program, is bring awareness to all of the potential pitfalls and all the risks in our industry. And this is a big one that's often been very silent before now. And we're in it with our sister associations over at NECA, SMACNA, and TALK. We're in a 4-way safety alliance. So we're all in lockstep on this one.
This is so needed at this time, this point in time. So I thank you. I think that's going to bring a lot of great attention and help all of us, right?
Well, it was a big part of Bob Bolton's presidency to really start paying attention to mental health.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's, and the NEI, and training, and, it's just, I went through a lot of the courses during my time working for the contractor, and, you provide a lot of answers and a lot of opportunities for people to improve whatever it is that they're looking to improve, right?
Right. MCA's got classes, both educational sessions that can come to you, educational sessions that are online, that are held in certain locations, and conferences for every part of our members' business, from beginning, from developing an idea that you want to go into business to your exit plan when you're ready to hang it up, go to something else, or to retire. And
yeah,
we have just about everything.
Yeah. I wanted to ask you one last question about, speaking of exit plans, when you, with CH Stone and working, growing up in your grandfather's business, what is the one thing that you took away from that business that you would say you still is kind of like one of your foundational pillars today? Like one of the things that you always go back to that keeps you, kind of in line and on the right path?
You need a succession plan. If you don't have a succession plan, good things will fall apart. And we had a great family company, and the lack of succession plan and willingness to have a succession plan and work out of something, even though you're getting paid for it, caused that company to go away. And that company took care of a lot of families. So I have worked with a number of our member companies on succession planning. I promote it as much as I can in this office. I believe in that too. We got to all find our replacement, or find somebody. If we get hit by the bus, this company needs to go on. This organization needs to go on. And you can do that without being afraid of being replaced.
Mm-hmm.
And if you really hire good people, and we've got one of the best staffs. If you look at all of our sister associations, I'll put our people up against every one of them. They have some great staff. They do great things. But I'm very proud of our staff, and they're all getting to the point where they understand that it's important to have a backup. And
yeah, that's a great point, because I was thinking about some of the businesses I've worked with recently, and you take second and third generation, a lot of family-owned companies, right? And maybe necessarily the kids didn't grow up in the business, and then next thing you know, it's they're in this place where they don't really know what their future holds,
right?
And they're not thinking about it yet either. So that's cool that you guys are there's opportunity there to work through that and providing
There's a
value.
lot of opportunity in our industry, and recruiting is so important. And traditionally, parents don't want their kids to go into the trades because they've never heard about them. The high schools get ranked on how many of their students matriculate on to college, not have high school be the end of their educational career, and then they go into an apprenticeship. So recruiting is tough, and I've got to applaud you for your efforts with your program, Athletes in the Trades. Why don't you explain a little bit about that and your recent success with a college wrestling team?
Yeah. So Athletes in the Trades, when we think about the trades are hard work, right? We know that. You're going to work hard. And the one thing that I've noticed working in the trades is athletes typically had success for the fact that they've worked hard before. So they cross that box. That you could check that box. Hard work, check. They've had to work hard to be an athlete. You have to practice hard. There's no guarantee you're going to win at anything, but you still practice every single day. And there's no promise of victory, but you keep doing it because it's how you get better. It's how you improve. So when we look at perseverance, and when we look at accountability, and we look at listening skills and communication, typically, in my experience, athletes were always better and they excelled in the trades. Not all, but a higher percentage, right? So we started the Athletes in the Trades movement through Leadership Ohio, and we are going out now and getting in front of school districts here in Ohio, and we are introducing and repackaging just the perception of the trades and working to make the trades are great. And we do this. We'll show the 4 or 5 year path of going to college. And this is not anti-college, but this is not, college isn't necessarily for everyone, right? How many kids graduate every year and then they never go out into the workforce and use their degree?
A lot of them.
A lot of them, right? It's like 62%. And so, I had this idea because personally, in their 40s, I've had 4 friends that have entered the trades. Wow. In their 40s. And just in the last 6 months. Imagine where they would be today if they would have done that at 20 years old or 25 years old, as opposed to 45 years old.
Sure.
Right. So the trades provide, and I saw firsthand, a great living, great opportunity. And we're trying to change the perception. Not trying, we are changing. Recently, we spoke to a college Division I wrestling team, and we changed the perception, way more favorable perception. They said it was like 85% of the folks we did
amazing
case study with. So I think it's just taking a new approach. It's not our grandfather's trades, right? It's not what that perception is. You can be, younger, and the trades can be cool. They could be cool.
It provides a great living, and
Yes.
with technology today,
Yes.
Some of it you're working on a video game with BIM and CAD and the virtual design. You can get into that aspect of it, and all the new means and methods that join the pipe and put in the system. I mean, it's a fascinating workplace, and it's always different. That's the nice thing.
How different is it today than when you entered the trades?
Oh my goodness. I remember, this is dating myself, when we got our first fax machine and we didn't have to drive the bids down anymore. And then you'd get a fax and it would be great, but you better make a copy of it because it was on that heat sensitive paper and it all turned brown later. But, I'm dating myself, and I had that first bag cell phone, and it's totally different today.
It is, but the perception of what younger people today, because if their parents never were in the trades and their guidance counselor wasn't in the trades and their teacher wasn't in the trades, they don't want kids going into the trades. We see it.
It's all about providing the opportunity and awareness to the opportunity. And when we were in Philadelphia, the contractor base and the local 420 and local 690, the plumber, the fitter local, would have career awareness days, for lack of a better way to put it, at the local high school, the Center City High Schools in Philadelphia. And you get in there and you start talking about, after you graduate from your apprenticeship, you can make more than $100,000 a year. Their parents wouldn't make that in 5 years, and how it could be transformative for their family going forward. And there wasn't enough support from the counselor side. They would bring them down, they'd apply, but then that would be it. And we wouldn't hear from them again. So we've got a really big job to do about really driving awareness, driving the career opportunities and the life-changing opportunities that our trade can be. And we work really close with the UA, our labor partners, on that. We've got a great relationship. We have a strategic planning committee that works with the UA, and we're working on all levels, on recruitment, organizing, tackling these mega project manpower needs, and concentrating on what we've done for the last 130 something years is take care of our local markets. My hat's off to Mark McManus, the UA's general president, and his whole team. They're growing, and every 3 weeks they say they're bringing on 1,000 extra people, and that's 1,000 extra people, including that count takes into account all the people that have retired and left the trades. So they're really on a growth curve and very progressive, very forward thinking, and I got to take my hat off to them. It's excellent, and everything is changing so fast in today's times, right? And it's those things we have to be doing things differently than we did before, because what got us here isn't going to get us there, right? So it's constantly being forward thinking. Speaking of those mega projects you mentioned, what are your thoughts on those? Coming in, and how is that dynamic taking shape? I think it's a great opportunity to really get in with the end users and be part of their planning process, where MCAA and the UA were never brought in to those conversations before, and now we're sitting at the table. And it's a lot of responsibility. I think they tell us what we're going to need, and then we've got to put a plan together to provide the manpower. And General President McManus put Derek Kowalappi in charge of the semiconductor end of it, and he's navigating that, and he keeps us in the know and in the conversation, and really doing a good job and a lot of it is about being realistic about what's going to be needed. Because there are ebbs and flows, and each job has its own personality, own training needs. Each end user is a little different in their expectations and how they want to handle things. But we've got a whole stable of great contractors that have been in that industry for a long time. They know from a management standpoint how to execute it, and they know how to manage the field. And the UA is really good about providing well-trained craftspeople. So when you put the two of those together, you put great UA work craftsperson with a great MCA contractor, and we can do it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's exciting. You're also doing some pretty cool new foreman training, aren't you? Or that's coming out next year?
It's coming out. We put a task force together to really tackle this issue. With these mega projects, we need so many field leaders.
Yeah.
In the future, and not in the future, but in the immediate future. So we've modeled the new foreman training, the fundamentals of field leadership is what it's going to be, after our very successful preparatory IPM program. which is IPM is our Institute for Project Management. That's an online course, 12 weeks, an hour and a half a week. So you don't have to commit to being off campus for a week at a time for 2 weeks. It just teaches the basic blocking and tackling of project management. And we put over 1,500 people through that in the last 2.5 years.
Wow.
Which is great. So we're modeling the new Field Leaders program, the Fundamentals of Field Leaders program after that. It's going to be an hour to an hour and a half a week for, haven't really decided on how many weeks, but at least 10.
Okay.
Where there'll be videos to watch, discussions. Each class will be live, just like the pre-IPM. You're going to have a live instructor, just like we're live right now. So we can interact. And we can give a great volume of people the basics of what you need to be a good field leader. And then hopefully from that, it's a feeder program for our Field Leaders Conference that we talked about earlier, where they really get the soft skills and the motivation to go out there and lead people and deal with people and to really be effective on a job site.
It's to be effective on a job site, you have to have those skills.
Right.
Have to.
And there's got to be an awareness to everything that's required. Because it's our belief, you take a good journeyman and you want him to be a good field leader. Well, a good journeyman oftentimes concentrates on being a good union man. And being a good field leader, it's our belief that you could be a good union representative and a good representative for the company as well. The interests do not compete.
It makes sense. Yeah. That's exciting.
Yeah, it is very exciting. And hopefully that'll be probably early Q2 of next year.
Okay.
We'll be hitting that and ready to go.
This is there's so many good things coming down the road as we see into the future. And it's exciting to be part of the MCAA, and be part of that process of all the good.
We're glad that you are part of it.
Yeah, as am I. There's one thing that you and I share. When I talked before, is we have passion for helping people and helping people in their business, right?
Well, it's such a great industry, and it's given me everything that our family has. And I'm proud to say my oldest son is now third generation UA.
Nice.
He just turned out of local 290 up in Portland, Oregon as a plumber. So he's in it and loves it. And, my other kids have my other two boys have a really strong respect for the industry because they understand what it's meant to our family. And there's a lot of pride in knowing that their great grandfathers started a company long ago and started us down this track.
And I don't have the roots at your level, but I feel the same way. Like this industry has given my family everything it has also. Yeah. If it wasn't for my former boss, Mike Brandt at Smith & Obie, taking a chance on me and bringing me in, and giving me the opportunities he gave me, I wouldn't be sitting here talking to you today. So I agree with you 100%.
Well, Mike's been a great friend for a long time and helped me out in my career as well, and was a great president for MCAA. And what you just described, what he did for you is not surprising because that is Mike. And you look at Mike and Tina and their kids and everything else, and they're all about family. They're all about people.
Yes, they are.
Yeah.
Yes, they are. I'm going to ask you a few. I do what I call a lightning round.
Okay.
These are rapid fire questions. All right. There's no method to this madness. All
Is
right.
there a buzzer involved?
You can pretend like there's one. Okay. So favorite either actor, musician, or band?
Man, the one that comes to mind right now is Jimmy Buffett because he just passed away.
Oh, yes, he did.
And I went about 14 times I saw him.
Wow.
Yeah. I'm a closet parrot head.
Yes, you are. Yeah. Not in the closet anymore.
No.
You just came out.
Yeah, that one's been tough for me.
That is hard. He was special. Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Favorite food?
Italian.
Italian.
Yeah.
You got to go to
Italian with seafood.
Okay.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice. Favorite, if you, condiment, ketchup, mustard, mayonnaise.
Ketchup.
Ketchup.
Yeah.
Yeah. Ketchup is good. I switch. I'm kind of a cross condiment guy.
Okay. What do you put on a hot dog?
What's that?
What do you put on a hot dog?
It depends.
Okay.
Sometimes it's ketchup and mustard, both.
Yeah.
Sometimes if my grandmother, God bless her, she's still with us. She's 94. But when she comes over, and if like in the summer on like a Memorial Day or, those moments, the 4th of July, when we have hot dogs, it's, she is a relish queen.
Okay.
So I'll even put some relish on, if grandma's around. But how about yourself? Hot dog?
Ketchup.
Only?
Yeah.
Ketchup only. Okay. Interesting. Do you have a favorite movie? Could you identify a movie?
2. That Thing You Do.
That Thing You Do?
With Tom Hanks.
Yes. Okay. I remember that one up.
Iron Man 2.
Nice. Nice.
For no particular reason other than you don't have to pay attention to it.
All right. My last question. We're at Tim Brink's retirement party. Okay. You have some former clients there, friends, colleagues through MCAA. How would you want people to describe the way you do business?
My goal is to help people. And I want to help people become successful. Sometimes we all get in our own way, but that's my goal. And I would love for people to say, he really helped me.
I love that.
Yeah.
Because at the end of the day, isn't that what it's really all about?
It is. You got to be a good person. I went to Jesuit high school, Jesuit college, and the whole Jesuit thing is you got to be a man for others. And I try to, like I said, I get in my own way often, but that's always in the background.
We share that also. I'm a Walsh Jesuit grad here in Ohio. So yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What high school did you go to?
I went to Loyola High School in Los Angeles, and then Santa Clara University up in the Bay Area.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Yeah. Tim, awesome. Thank you so much for coming on today. It was great talking MCAA and people and all the great things that are going on out there. And thank you for being a great leader.
Well, thank you, Frank. Thanks for being part of our wonderful organization, and thanks for all your enthusiasm and what you're doing with the athletes in the trades. I think it's remarkable. And what you're doing through the NEI, that's important. You're helping our members become better so they can thrive in their business.
That's what it's all about.
It's a pleasure, Frank. Thank you.
Likewise, sir. Thank you.